like to introduce our featured speaker today. I'm really excited because this is, I think, her fourth time doing the National Wake Up Call, but first time on video. So, and she's got a lot of great things to say. She is a superstar diamond coach. She is a 5-time elite coach. I think that she has been coaching almost 7 years. And she is part of the Million Club. So if you don't know what that is, it means a cumulative amount of money, of earnings in the last, since her journey as a coach. So we're very proud of her. She has achieved 76 months in Success Club. That is consistent. That's huge. So she's a All-Star 10 legend. And she's from Jenison, Michigan, which I think it's what, like 15 degrees right now, Anita?
Yes.
So welcome everybody to the call, Anita Miron.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here, and I'm so excited to tell or to speak my story, to share everything about my life and stuff.
Okay, well, that is the first question of 3, and that is, why don't you let everybody know who you are and what made you become a coach?
Yeah, so in 2012, I like to say my business was born, and so was my daughter. So I had my daughter in 2012, and I was 210 pounds when I left the hospital. And I knew that I was not who I wanted to be. I wasn't where I wanted to be. And I knew holding my new daughter that I really wanted to show her a good example, to be the best example in her life. And being 200 plus pounds and being tired and being hungry and angry all the time just wasn't who I was. So I was following my sponsor, Leslie Cordes, on Facebook, and she every day would post something really positive, uplifting, and I just so looked forward to opening my computer and seeing her every day. So I reached out and I said, what are you doing? You look amazing. You said that you lost 55 pounds. Like, what is it that you're doing? I need to be doing that. And I wanted to be that bright and shiny light that she was for me. I wanted to be that for other people too. So I got started with Chalene Extreme in 2012 and started Shakeology. And within 7 to 8 months, I had lost 70 pounds. And during that journey, not only did I gain a ton of confidence for myself and my health and myself as a mom, but I also went on to have confidence in building a team and a business. So I poured my heart and soul into sharing my journey on social media because I knew that's what, my sponsor, how she inspired me to come on board. So I was sharing that out of, genuinely loving what I was doing. And I started to build a team and I started to see a little bit of an income grow. My first paycheck was like $30-something, but I started to see that grow and grow. And at first my vision for my business was, I'm going to buy a new pair of boots for this winter. And then I saw the accumulation and it started to grow and grow. And I got super excited because I thought to myself, okay, this can actually be something. This could be an opportunity. And so I reached out to my sponsor and I said, hey, what are you making per week? Like, how much real money are you making? And she told me, and this was several years ago, and we were both just sort of starting out, but she said, I was making $500 a week. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so if you can do it, if you can do this, I know I can do this. And at that point in time, we were living paycheck to paycheck. I had just left my job for a little bit for maternity leave, but we didn't have paid maternity leave during that time. So I was like I said, we're paycheck to paycheck, having trouble paying off our debt. We were stressed out, no date nights because we couldn't afford it. So I said, okay, I've got to give this Beachbody thing a go. I've got to dedicate some time to it because I know it's bringing my sponsor success. So if she can do it, I can do it. And so I made a decision, line in the sand, that I was going to treat my business like I invested $1 million. I was going to treat my business like a job, like I was showing up every day. And with the tools to succeed, I was able to grow my business. And within 18 months from the decision to make this a serious dedication, we were able to become a top 10 team. And we were at a point where I was earning well over a full-time income, and I was able to help Eric, who was also stressed in his job, leave and come home and pursue this amazing opportunity with me. So.
Wow. Okay. So I'm glad when you said that you were treating it like a business, you said like I had invested in it, because we throw that line around a lot, treat your business like a business. And for people who have never had a business, they're like, what does that mean? So It was like you personally invested in it. So I want you to share with everybody why we're having you speak on this topic. Okay. So go ahead and take it away.
All right. So when I first joined Team Beachbody, I was given the tools to succeed by my coach, but I had no idea. I didn't really understand where to start, and quite frankly, didn't have the belief in the tools that were given to me. And I would sit on social media and just sort of stare at other top coaches that I've heard of and say, okay, what is she doing? Like, what do I need to be doing to have that kind of success? That's what I wanted. And I just would watch, and I had no idea where to go. I would sit for an hour with the hour to 2 hours I had and felt like a chicken with my head cut off. So my coach, after 3 months, invited me to what's called, and this month, ironically, is Team Cup month. And she said, I want you on my Team Cup team. It's going to be super fun. There's prizes. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And at that point, Beachbody was sort of like this hobby for me. And it was, like I said, fun, and I was earning a little bit of side income. But then something funny happened. I was on someone's team. I had other teammates looking to me and thinking, okay, we all have to show up. We all have to meet these goals. And I did not want to let these girls down at all. So I went back to the tools that my sponsor gave me. And I remember her reviewing the 3 vital behaviors. This was back when it was 3 vital behaviors and not 4, but invite, be proof the products work, and personal development. But then I went and looked at something called the business activity tracker. This is what it was called back then, the business activity tracker. And I said, okay, I am going to implement everything in this tracker every single day and see what happens. And it just so happens that my sponsor had given me a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And I opened that up, I started reading, and I said, okay, I'm going to implement this business activity tracker because my sponsor said this is what helped her achieve success and Success Club. I'm going to implement that. And then I'm going to implement the compound effect into using that business activity tracker every day. And I started to see success build. Every single month, I started to see that compounding effort. I would hit Success Club, I'd do it again. And I felt like that consistency and that effort, just doing the business activity tracker, is what really built my business to what it is today. So I know through my own experience of building my own team and building my own business that duplication is absolutely key. And I knew when I was doing my 1 to 2 hours a day, whatever I was doing in that 1 to 2 hours, I wanted to help my coaches duplicate that. I learned from watching my sponsor that building a big business came down to helping your coaches duplicate what it is that you were doing. So I got busy. I said, okay, if this is working for me, I'm reaching Success Club. I should take this Compound Effect book by Darren Hardy and this business activity tracker and give it to my coaches that were joining my team. It was absolutely imperative that I felt confident that they had the tools to succeed. I didn't want them signing up and then just being like, I don't know what else to do. I have no idea where to turn. So I really feel that duplication and handing them that tool to succeed is very crucial in what played a big part in my team growing and having success. So I joined Team Beachbody in 2012. I reached Elite Top 10 in 2014, 15. And in 2016, I became pregnant with my baby, this is very challenging to talk about, so bear with me if I stumble over my words. But in 2016, I was pregnant. I found out at 20 weeks that baby had Down syndrome. And then at 32 weeks, I went on to lose that baby. And I delivered him into the world, and he was still. And that completely, at that point in time, destroyed my life. It caused me to question everything that was happening in my life. I was very, very upset, depressed. But at that point in time, Beachbody was what supported my family. We were full-time Beachbody family. And after that loss, I knew I had to get back on my feet again. I knew I needed to show up for my team, show up for my coaches, show up for my virtual boot campers. And at first, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't get myself out of bed. I knew I needed to start working out, so I started there. So when I sat down at my computer for the first time after going through that, I was like, okay, what was it, Anita, that you did no matter what? Every day that you showed up in I had already been a coach for almost 3 years. What was it, or 4 years? What was it that you did every day that brought you success? And it was that business activity tracker. I said to myself, okay, I'm going to give myself just today. I'm going to show up. I'm going to take it one breath at a time. I'm going to open my computer and I'm just going to do this business activity tracker. And every day, no matter what, I filled that bad boy out. And it was hard, trust me, having had depression and having battled anxiety and then having to deal with infant loss. At that point in my life, I just wanted to get to the next breath. I just wanted to get to the next day. And I knew that Beachbody was this positive light in my life, and I needed to just get back to it. I needed to just immerse myself in our culture and our team. So every day I showed up and I made sure that business activity tracker was complete. And in 2016, I went on to hit elite again. That was my 3rd year as an elite coach. And then I was also number 12 in the company on that year. And then the following year, again, typical to talk about, so forgive me if I stumble. I went on to become pregnant with William. And I lost that pregnancy at 20 weeks, also had to deliver in the hospital. And I was even more devastated than before. I mean, I couldn't even believe this was happening to me. I could not believe. I felt like I was stuck in a dream. And I was faced again with, okay, Anita, you just experienced something hard. People go through hard. Everybody has hard. You get to choose how you react to the hard. So I got my business activity tracker back out, got the vital behaviors going. I just made sure every day I just did those vital behaviors. And we went on in 2017 to adopt my now son, Warren, who's absolutely the light of my life. And that was a hard process too. We did not have an easy 2016 to 2018. But no matter what, guys, I showed up, I did that business activity tracker, and I watched my business continue to grow. Although not as fast as before, it was still growing and I'm still hitting elite. And then, my husband and I, like I said, Eric started doing this business with me in 2014. So it took me a while to build up my own business. And then he saw the opportunity and saw the belief. And he started to believe in me. And eventually he was able to come home and do Beachbody with me. And at first he was more so my background. He was helping me with lighting. He was helping me with videos. He would help with the family, with the kids, the house. And he did what we like to call glamour coaching. So every day he would get his little selfie in, he'd do a little workout, throw back some Shakeology, put another picture on social, and then be done. And he would always question, why am I not hitting Success Club? And then he'd give up. Then he'd say, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm just going to help you, babe. I'm going to be your background. I'm going to be the person that helps you get your things going, and we'll just rely on you. And in the last year, Eric has been like, you know what? I've been home from my previous job for several years now. I want my own thing. I want to contribute on a different level. So he said, I'm going to work this business. And he went back to the whole glamour coaching thing again. And then he started to implement the vital behaviors, and we still weren't seeing the numbers for Success Club come up. And we had built together over the years, him to Diamond. And then that had fallen apart over and over again. So we said, okay, the new business activity tracker called the Success Club system came out. And I saw it and I was like, okay, this is really awesome. This is very specific to what it is I do now. It is the business activity tracker, but it applies to today's world, today's social media world. So I said to Eric, and he agreed. I said, let's do this. Let's do this for 2 weeks and let's see how you do. And he did it. He showed up every day, and it wasn't easy at first, but he also, amazingly enough, he started to see his personality change. He started to have different priorities. So he started eating cleaner and showing up to his workouts every day and drinking his Shakeology. And so he became consistent in his lifestyle, and he started to feel more confident. And I started to see him feel more confident on social media. So within about 2.5 weeks, Eric was back to Diamond again and hit Success Club 6 for the very first time. And we were like, oh my gosh, it actually works. And it's funny, it took me 6 years to be like, it actually works. After all that I had been through and every reaffirmation that it worked, or reaffirmation, we were back to, it works. Oh my God, it's amazing. So, and I knew it worked, and I had personal buy-in to it, but it was one thing for me to see it work for me and my coaches. It was a whole nother thing to see it work for my husband. And I joke with my team that there's still hope for all of you ladies out there that want your honey bunnies to work the business with you.
Anita,
yes.
I just want to jump in because I want to figure out why it worked for him. Was it because he was consistent for 2 weeks? I mean, he did, because we talk a lot about, everybody does the vital behaviors, right? And they just say, oh, I do my vitals every single day. But what is the difference in those 2 weeks that Eric really pushed? Where in the vitals was he pushing?
So, like I said, the glamour coaching. So he'd post on social media, he'd do the vital behaviors, but he'd do it very, just like, make sure I check that off the list, all 3. So, but he really wasn't inviting, and he really wasn't digging into personal development, and he didn't know tactically what to do with Instagram. So he would just sort of do the fun top layer stuff, but he didn't dig in and invite for 20 minutes and add to his social network. And he wasn't following up. He wasn't doing those pieces. And back when I was first doing the business activity tracker, I knew that, there were some extra things like following up and keeping lists and tracking that the business activity tracker did not necessarily lay out, but I knew that everything that I did stemmed from that tracker. So with the new business activity tracker, it lays it out specifically. Post on your Instagram stories, follow up for 20 minutes, make connections with people. And so he started to dig in and actually do those behaviors and that consistency. And he asked, Anita, what do I read? Like, what would be a great book? And I was like, The Compound Effect. So he implemented that into using the new Success Club system. And his confidence grew because people were starting to answer him. People were starting to communicate with him and become excited about what he was doing. And then he signed up his first customer, signed up another coach. And before you knew it, it's Success Club 6. And he's like, I can do this. This is going to work. So he actually really inspired me. I was like, okay, so if it works for you that way, I'm going to do the same thing with my team. So I gathered up groups of coaches according to their leader. So I had my say 10 leaders, and I asked them to grab a few of their working coaches or the coaches that were working their business, and let's do a pod chat where every day we turn in a photo of our business activity tracker. And it wasn't for me to scold them or say, hey, you're missing this. Why didn't you do this? This was more so for them to show up. It was the accountability. They knew everyone else was turning it in. I didn't want to be the one that didn't do it. And funny enough for me, these groups have really helped me stay accountable too, because there are days when I want to just say, forget it, I'm not going to do it. We all have days like that. But when I see my girls pop onto the chat and say, hey, I did it. I actually did it today. And then they all celebrate each other. I'm like, okay, I have to be on my A game. And that's the thing about leadership and duplication. If you want other people to do it, you've got to do it yourself. So you need to be doing the Success Club system yourself if you're going to ask other people to do it. So yeah, we have fun in these group pods, and every week we have little challenges on how to do things better. We talk to each other about what ways we can expand on these tracker activities. And that leads me to my next piece of information, which this is my favorite part, but I got a hold of a book called The 10X Rule by Cardone. And I was doing the 10X Rule before, but I had never put it into words. I didn't have a title for it. So what I did without even knowing was I was applying the 10X rule, do things 10 times more, 10 times better, 10 times more excitement. I was doing the 10X rule over the last 4 or 5 years, but I wasn't explaining to my team how they could 10X with their system. So I've actually taken my leaders and we've done little trainings where we talk about what areas of the business activity tracker can we 10X? And what do I mean by that? So inviting, how can I 10X inviting? If you want to see faster results in your business, you need to be focusing on doing more, doing better. So how can I 10X inviting? Well, invite more than 10 minutes, invite more than 20 minutes. How can I 10X my personal development? Well, implement what you're learning better. Journal about what you're learning, read more, show up to live events. How can I 10X building and adding to my network? Spend more time making connections, more time adding to your network. And so I saw more and more of my team doing this over the last few weeks and doing the 10Xing behaviors, and more of the coaches in my downline, not just my personally sponsored, but in my downline, they're reaching Success Club faster. They are reaching it more consistently, and they're seeing higher numbers. They aren't just hitting Success Club 5. I'm seeing Success Club 10, 20, all the way down my downline because of implementing the accountability, 10Xing, the compound effect, and the business activity tracker.
I'm back. Okay. Wow. You know what? I'm just thinking of so many things right now that I want to ask you. But one of the things that, and I don't know if you just mentioned it, but aren't your coaches achieving Success Club earlier than ever before?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. A lot faster.
A lot faster. So, I mean, you know, from everything that you've been through, I mean, I don't want to bring up, you know, all the hardships that you had, but a lot of us were watching you on Facebook and your courage and your strength and your bravery. And you still, with everything going on emotionally in your family, you were still doing the work. You were showing up and you weren't just phoning it in. And now with your husband, you know, hitting Success Club first time, it's like everything that you've been saying all along has been true.
Yes.
Make that note, husbands out there. We know what we're doing. So it's full circle now. You've been doing this since you've been coaching since the beginning. So the business activity tracker is not new to you. What is new is that the Success Club system took a sampling of, I think, 1,500 coaches and said, now, why are these coaches, or how are these coaches moving their businesses faster, sooner than other coaches? And it was because they were 10Xing, okay? They were doing everything just a little bit more intensity, more frequency. And so that's where the difference was. So I want to ask you a question about Success Club, because you've hit it 76 months in a row. How do you still stay focused on hitting that every single month? Do you focus on follow-ups? Do you focus on invites? What's the secret sauce?
The secret sauce. And I always ask, okay, what's the secret? What's her secret? So it's actually my back office is 77 months. And for me, it's keeping it simple. For me to continue to hit Success Club, I do it first of all, not because I have to, but because I want my team to hit it. I want that duplication. I want them to see success in their business. And if I want them to do that, and if I want them to show up and do their business activity tracker or the Success Club system now, if I want them to do it, I myself have to do it, because it would be sort of hypocritical if I were like, you do this every day, I'm going to sit back and watch. I'm leading in the trenches with them. And also I want to stay up to date on what's happening out there, what's happening in social media. How am I, what did I do last month to hit Success Club, and how can I teach my people what I did? And so also keeping it simple, guys. I'm not a magical unicorn in the sky. I don't have a secret sauce or secret weapon. I'm not spending millions on assistants and advertising. I just do the dang business activity tracker, the Success Club system, and I have every day for 77 months. And that is the reason I hit Success Club every month.
Yes, so you were 76 months yesterday. Today you're 77 months. So good for you. I am going to close out the call with a question that we always ask about personal fulfillment in this business. So how rewarding has coaching been for you all these years? Why don't you share a story with everyone here?
Yes. Okay. So I always knew I was meant to do something interesting or special. I always wanted a career that was meaningful. And I had hopped from job to job to job. I mean, I had like 10, 15 jobs before I became a coach, and I was either fired or I quit. So a lot of failures. And I knew that I had been through so much life and so many experiences, there had to have been something out there. And I had the motivation, I had the drive. I just didn't have the opportunity yet until Beachbody came into my life. And I instantly knew after going, doing my workouts and sharing that and having the passion and the excitement to give other people in my life that opportunity, I realized that Beachbody is a meaningful career, and this is a meaningful opportunity to change lives and to make an impact in the world. So not only has it given me financial freedom and less stress financially, but also it's given me purpose. And it's what gets me out of bed some days. Back, like I said, like we were talking about 2016, 2017, went through a lot of life. And my career as a coach was a big part of why and how I was able to keep going and showing up no matter what. So it's changed my life foundationally as a human being, as a wife, as a mother, as a leader, and it's given us a lot of freedom that we have so much gratitude every single day for.
That is so, so great. And I'm really happy that you shared with everybody, because like you said, you have life in the last few years, but isn't that what we do? I mean, we create so much life for ourselves that sometimes life gets in the way and then we lose our place, and then something needs to get us back on track. But it sounds like the business activity tracker just always kept you plugged into the right life. It's like so simple. There is no secret sauce. It's right there. We're telling everybody what it is. So thank you so much, Anita, for sharing today. And coaches, let me just say that over at the NLC, Carl had this incredible closing moment. Actually, it was his opening. But today's affirmation actually comes from Carl. And he actually, I don't know if you can see it right there. He actually wrote it on his wall. I'm going to read it because I can't read it backwards. Know the outcome you want. Then don't focus on the outcome. Focus on the actions that you know deliver the outcome. So I'm getting a rainbow effect here. You all have goals and you all have some outcomes that you want to see come out of this business or come out of your life goals. But it's the actions that you have to focus on, not so much the outcome. So appreciate that journey that you're on right now. And just like Anita has worked through what life was throwing at her, she still stayed on the activity. So with that, I'm going to say thanks everybody for joining the call today. Thanks Anita and Kevin. And we will see you here next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.